Okay, so this is OOP1, Project 1. First, I'm going to show you how to move an object just across the screen. So you will remember that. So we're starting with void setup and void draw and size 300 by 300 here. So do you remember how to draw an ellipse and have it go across the screen? The ellipse command is ellipse, and then you have an X location, Y location, and how tall and how wide it is. So the X location, we're going to have a variable called position. So position, and then we'll just start it always at Y equals 30, and we'll have it 50 by 50. Okay, and then you probably want a background command in here, just so the circle doesn't overwrite itself and keep you see trails with it. This way, we're going to have an animation. Okay, and then for the position variable, I'm going to have it be a floating point number. And remember, a floating point number is a more precise number than an integer. So I'll say float position. And then in the setup, I'm going to initialize the position variable to 0. So let's see if this works. Let's see what this does. And what you should see is, yep, just sitting there. It's not incrementing at all. Its position starting at 0, it's 30 down, and it's just sitting there. So in order to make it move, we need to change the position, right? We need to, and usually when you have something moving, you're adding velocity to position. So right now what we'll do is position equals position plus 1. And then, remember, when it goes past the end of the width of the screen, we want it to reset again. So if position is greater than width, the width of the screen, right, then we're going to set position equal to 0 again, just so it resets. And now we should see this going across the screen. So there it goes across the screen. And then once it gets past the width, it's going to reset again. Hooray. So some of you guys are like, oh, that's too slow for me. I want it to go a little faster. So you remember, this is how you would change. This is like a velocity, right? So in fact, let's give us another variable called velocity. Okay, and then we'll initialize velocity to 3 here. Okay, and then I'll have velocity. That's a little bit more correct. So position equals position plus velocity. This moves something across the screen. Now, what if I told you, I want you to make 100 of these, I want you to make the velocities all different, and I want you to make the Y locations all different? That would be really hard, right? You'd have to have this a whole bunch of times, right? You'd have to have a whole bunch of different position variables, one for each ellipse, and maybe you'd have different velocity variables too. And then what if I said, oh, I want them all to be different colors too? You'd have to have different color variables on top of it. So that would be a terrible pain in the butt. So object-oriented programming lets us create one ball, or we're going to call it a car, and inside that car code has its own position and its own velocity and its own other attributes too. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to do that.